Shalom, shalom. Man, let me see if I look all crazy. If I do, man, Judah gonna be like, man, you nigga, you always messing up shit. And I might have to fuck around and do it again, man. Hold on. Let me go in here and see how I look, y'all. This is gonna be easier for y'all to see if I do it like that. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Cause I want to make sure y'all gonna be able to see this, man, whenever y'all do this. Whenever I do this. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. You funny, man. Shalom, Marcus. Can you hear me? What up, Hannah? Can you hear me? I just need to know if somebody can hear me, man, so we can get going, so we get started. We play catch up later. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see? Can you hear? Thank you, Judah. Damn, somebody said yes. Thank you. Shit. All right, so brothers and sisters, I'm about to play this this audio of this class. There's a few of them that I'm actually gonna play. So let me set the scenario up for you. Everybody knows what Israel United in Christ teach in regards to the 12 tribes chart. But if you do your studies on the chart, if you do your studies on the history of the chart, if you do your studies on the 12 tribes in general, you'll know that any of these camps that teach that stuff is off. But they'll hold fast to this and they'll tell you, brothers and sisters, and they'll convince y'all that what they're saying is true. But I'm telling you it's a money grab, and I know it to be a money grab for sure. I'm 1,000% sure it's a money grab. But I'm going to show you, brothers and sisters, that IUIC don't even believe that the so-called Hispanics, the light-skinned Spaniards, the Native Americans, they don't even believe that they Israel. And they gonna tell you out their own mouth that that the Africans that we know of that's still on that side, those are the Israelites. And they gonna tell you even during slavery that all the other nations knew that they was Israelites. And it has nothing to do with the ones that we've been taught as the Hispanics that we know of are Israel. And again, this ain't me. I'm going to let them tell you out their own mouth. So don't call me talking about mosh this, mosh that. I am going to let Israel United in Christ tell you that they do not believe that the light-skinned Hispanics are the Israelites. Hey, my brother, B-Hood, what's good? The first one I'm going to show y'all is, Shalom, Michael, what's good, bro? The first one I'm going to show you is a small clip of Nathaniel, and he says this all the time. Anytime a Hispanic brother leaves the congregation, for some reason they no longer are Israelites, and then he tells you what they really are, and he tells you what he's really thinking. So I'm gonna show you. I'm show you on here. Hold on.
Give me. Give me.
Hopefully y'all can see this motherfucker, man. It's gonna be a bitch. Can y'all see that, or is it like a glare? I may have to do something. That motherfucker's bad. Hopefully y'all can see this. Can y'all see that? But check it out. I'm gonna play this. Hold on.
Let me look at the verse again. Give me the picture that I sent you. This is one of the pictures that was posted or sent to me, because I don't. When I say I don't look at these people's videos, I don't. People take snapshots and send them to me. Show me a little FBI informant who did a lesson on me. Let's hey, put that up there.
Bring me a napkin, paper towel.
You know what I'm talking about? Little conquistador. Little conquistador. Little conquistador. Oh. I want y'all to look at this. I want y'all to, officer, can you read the title to this thing? Can't really see it. Can you blow it a big? I want you to look at the title. Yeah. These are men that say they're still in the truth, but their classes are not edifying anybody. They're all personal attacks. Read that. Nathaniel's ranking system contributed to Joy's death. Oh, mi amigo. Wow. Tú estúpido conquistador. Es bruto, 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 bruto. Oh, mi amigo. Wow. Tú estúpido conquistador. Es bruto, 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 bruto. Tú estúpido conquistador. Tú estúpido conquistador. Bruto, 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 bruto.
All right, I'm gonna run it back in a second. But as you hear, that was one of the brothers that used to be in the congregation. And it's so easy, man, when these brothers leave these congregations that they no longer are Israelite brothers. For some reason, they become conquistadors or Spaniards, what else they call them? White people, whatever the case may be. But they no longer Israel. And here's the thing that cracks me up about this brother that he talking about now, Bezalel. Nigga, Bezalel's cousin is a high-ranking captain in the Arizona camp. How the fuck? I know how I feel if I'm one of the Hispanics and that's my cousin and you calling him a stupid conquistador. I'd be like, hold the fuck on. You talking about me then? Because that's my cousin. So if you feel like that towards him and you saying that about him, what do you really feel about me? Now, granted, I've gotten phone calls from these brothers, some Hispanic brothers that are in the congregation, and I promise you, they all say the same thing, that they not even sure, and they question it themselves if they Israel or not. I promise you I get those phone calls. And you know what I tell them? It's irrelevant. Keep the commandments. The Most High sort this stuff out at the end. But the one thing I'm not going to do is tell you that the 10 tribes came over here. The one thing I'm not going to do is tell you something to gain money. I ain't doing that shit. But guess what? These people in this congregation, man, they'll tell you that. They'll lie to you all day. Matter of fact, I know y'all believe it's a lie. I know y'all know that what they telling y'all and what they teaching you is a lie, but you afraid. And the reason why you're afraid is because you don't study and your faith is weak. And you've always been taught that if you're not Israel, you done. Study, build yourself up. I can't help you on that one. Shit, I don't give. If I knew that I was a Gentile and I figured if I serve the Lord and there's a shot that I can get into the kingdom and all I got to do is serve the Lord, I don't give a fuck if I'm a Gentile. I'm going to be like, where do I go? What do I need to do? I take my chances with that. But you Negroes is afraid and y'all living a lie, man. So I'm going to play this again. Excuse me, I'm going to play this again and I think I got the screen right for y'all this time. Damn it, Judah. I'd have block you on her. And then make you go to the trap page from now on. Watch me from the trap page. Hold on.
Let me look at the verse again. Give me the picture that I sent you. This is one of the pictures that was posted or sent to me because I don't. When I say I don't look at these people's videos, I don't. People take snapshots and send them to me. Show me a little FBI informant who did a lesson on me. Let's put that up there. You know what I'm talking about? Little conquistador. Little conquistador. Little conquistador. I want y'all to look at this. I want y'all to... officer, can you read the title to this thing? Can't really see it. Can you blow it a big? I want you to look at the title. Yeah. These are men that say they're still in the truth, but their classes are not edifying anybody. They're all personal attacks. Read that. Nathaniel's ranking system contributed to Joy's death. Oh, mi amigo. Wow. Tú estúpido conquistador. Es bruto, 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 bruto. Oh, mi amigo. Wow. Tú estúpido conquistador. Es bruto, 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 bruto. Tú estúpido conquistador. Es tú estúpido conquistador. Es Bruto, 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 bruto.
The Royal Decree of Graces of 1815, Spanish, Real Cedula de Gracias, is a legal order approved by the Spanish crown in the early half of the 19th century to encourage Spaniards and, later, Europeans of non-Spanish origin to settle in and populate the colonies of Puerto Rico and Cuba.
Now, I'm going to say this, and it's true, and I know it might be a hard pill to swallow, but the majority of the Hispanics and the Native Americans that you do see in Puerto Rico and so on and so forth are mostly of the Spaniard descent. It is what it is. They'll tell you 75% of the population there is of Spaniard descent. Can't make it up. I didn't say it. I didn't write it. I didn't write the laws. I didn't write the book. I didn't write the commandments. I didn't do any of that. But that's just what it is. That's the reality of it. And if we gonna speak truth, let's speak truth. You understand what I'm saying? So with that, I'm gonna show you that they know that themselves. Who is who. And I'm gonna go back and we're gonna play it, and then we'll go from there. This is so ignorant. If you don't like it, then you feel free to log off. I mean, I'm not interested in what your opinion is. If that's what you're reaching for, I don't care. Matter of fact, shit, if I can block you.
Ooh, I can do it.
Deuces. You can fuck what you think. All right, let me go to this one. Now, this is a 28-minute video. They're gonna explain who's who, where they came from, the tribes that they came from, and where they are now. And at the end of this video, you will find out what these people look like. So let's go. It's 28 minutes long, and we'll stop. We'll stop and go. So bear with me.
You be watching some crazy stuff. All right. What's the name? Alright. I mean,
taking the slave ships to Puerto Rico and Cuba. Is from Baita Benin, it said Bantus, which is further down, and you have he said Guinea area. That's right there, Gulf of Guinea. Baita Benin, which is Beni Ephraim, sons of Ephraim, slave coast. Now, bring it up some more. I'm trying to see it. The kingdom, right there. Blow them more, bring it more, bring it closer to us. Move it to the. Bring it back up, blow it back up again. Close, right? Yeah. Where it says slave coast, what that say? Up on the slave coast. Right there. Kingdom of Judah. Or wider, which is Judah again, slave coast. Kingdom.
I got that map.
I do too.
Kingdom of Judah, slave coast. Wider. Judah, right at the bottom. Wider is Judah. I'm going to put that next. Kingdom of Judah. So like I said earlier, you had Judah right there in that area, and you had Benin, which is where? Go to Benin? Right in the bottom. So Judah is just places. Judah was up north, and then most of Ephraim had down there, Benin. And when you go further down, you have a place called Gabon. Go to a present day. Go down. You have Gabon, Kingdom of Gabon or Pongo. That's where Jasper Younger comes from. Jasper Younger comes from the Gabon people. He's Issachar. He's a Mexican hero, slave hero.
So remember that name, Jasper Younger. I'm pretty sure some of y'all have heard that name before. Jasper Younger looks just like me and you. That's who Jasper Younger looks like. And as we play this video, you're going to be able to read about him on Wikipedia. But those of you, absolute man, you can jump in anytime you want. But for those of you who want to look at it as I'm reading is why I paused it. Remember that name, Jasper Younger. He just told you that he's an Issacharite from the tribe of Issachar. We're going to see what he looks like. But go ahead, bro.
Just real quick, I ain't gonna be long.
Man,
I
take
got
your time, bro.
I got a documentary on YouTube. It's called True Identity of the So-Called Negro Part 4. And I don't know what's going on in here with what my brother's discussing, but what I did just see was this map. There's a man by the name of Emmanuel Bowen, and he was a cartographer or a map maker in year 1747, and he became a map maker for two royal kings, of King George of England, and the other guy was I want to say, hold on one second, now I can't find it, but yeah, he was King George II of England. I do know that, and I think it was King Louis the 15th of France. But anyway, he was a map maker, and that map you can look up Emmanuel Bowen, and you can research about him. You can type in Kingdom of Judah and West Coast of Africa on map or something like that. It should pop up. That was doing what's known as the Kingdom of Dahomey. But anyway, yeah, so he was definitely a map maker for two European kings. These European kings were black. They wasn't actually white. You know, so that lets you know if he was a map maker for two European kings, then he obviously knew his way around. You know what I'm saying? But I talked a little bit about that in my documentary 2015. So that was something I really wanted to share. That's a long topic within itself, but just in a nutshell, you will learn about that. And one of the books you can get, it's by Lee Cummings. It's called The Negro Question Part 2, the African slave ships that came from Judah, because you even learn that it was known by 4 different names: Abir, Weedi, Judah, and yeah. So you know, it's in Benin, which is west of Nigeria. So definitely check that information out. That was just a little bit what I wanted to talk about. Another brother right here said Benin Ephraim is known as the Yoruba tribes of Nigeria.
We're going to get there.
Yeah,
we're going to cover all that.
Yeah, in Babylon Timbuktu, page 131, it discussed what the brother was talking about, how they migrated from Morocco or whatnot. Oh, that's my bro right there. Shalom, bro. So yeah, that's a lot to discuss, to actually talk about. You know what I'm saying? You even learn about the Ashanti tribe, you know what I'm saying, and how they were crossing the river. They had the breastplate, you know, showing that they were Levi, you know what I'm saying, and you even learn the Igbos. A lot of them came over here in 1812, and they got off the slave ships, and they were known as the Igbo, the Ebo, which is known as the Hebrews. But many of them, the oldest family is the Eri family, and Eri is the sixth son of Gad. So it is said that a lot of the people that come from the Igbo, the Ebo, or of Gad, you know what I'm saying. So it's a lot that I actually discuss, you know what I'm saying. But I ain't want to be too long on that. But yeah, it's some things to look into.
Yeah, we gonna look into the shit.
Yeah,
we ain't going nowhere. Shit, we got all motherfucking day. We ain't going nowhere. All right, so y'all heard the name, so I'm gonna press play and we gonna keep going. We only 2.5 minutes in, and it's 28 minutes long. And again, you gonna know who is who by the end of this video.
That's where Jasper Younger comes from. Jasper Younger comes from the Gabon people. He's Issachar. He's a Mexican hero, slave hero of Mexico.
He said it right.
Yeah.
He said Jasper Younger. They placed him there because that's where Ephraim was. Northern Kingdom is in that area there. Judah had mostly from wider and up, with parts of Benin, and then Benin had Benin with further down. And then remnants of us scattered everywhere else. You understand? So it says slave coast. So just says Kingdom of Judah, that means that Judah, Benjamin, and Levi were there. If it's the Kingdom of Judah, it's 3 of us. It's Judah, Benjamin, Levi there. Let's go to you go to the map now. Go to the map, give you an idea. The present map. Negro land. You have Nigeria there, and you have Gabon right under. You have Nigeria, Ghana right there. Then you have Benin. That's why I wanted to do the map.
Pause there right there.
You go closer.
Hold on, Judah Moshe got something to say, but real
Put
quick,
the screen back up. Yeah.
real quick before he says,
No, you right there. You
right here. Okay, real quick before he says something though, somebody asked me. I understand where y'all defend yourself, but wouldn't this deter from coming into the truth with so much hate? You can't stop people from coming in the truth. All things is of the Lord. I can't. Shit, if somebody gonna believe, they gonna believe. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Now let me answer that too.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with me at all.
Can I
That's saying I'm more powerful than God.
Right.
That's crazy.
And with that being said, John 6:44 says this. This is what the Messiah said. It says, no man can come to me except the Father which have sent me draw him. So you see that no man can come to the Messiah, right? Unless the Father drew him. So it says, no man can come to me except the Father which have sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. So just real quick, he's showing Negro land as well. So I don't know if many of y'all who don't know, but from, it's kind of hard to hold this up. Here, hold this up real quick. Okay, so Negro land is just above. So you have Benin right here, and you have Negro land just above here. But get this, Negro land actually stretched for, hold on, how you put it back up? Yo, tablet. Okay, we can work with that. We can work with it. Just scoot it up some. So Negro land from East Africa all the way to West Africa was known as Shoota. So means the land of, and Yudah means Judah. So all of that land is a lot of where our ancestors were from. Not to be confused with Sudan or Abyssinia. You know what I'm saying? That's just something to just also think about as well.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm about to continue.
Goes right there. See that? So we share land. Benin's there. Something be from Ghana right there. Nigeria, so Judah from right there. Then we had land all the way to Sudan, all the way further down, especially to the Congo. We had that whole area there.
Togo.
And Dahomey was somewhere within the west as well. Neighboring us. They were our enemies, rivals, like the Philistines, kind of. Like that scenario.
Now remember, I just got done telling you about the cartographer Emmanuel Bowen. This is my first time watching this video, so I haven't seen it. Am I lying, bro?
No, he ain't seen it.
So this is my first time just listening to it. But remember, I was just got done telling you about the kingdom of Dahomey when I was telling you about Emmanuel Bowen, who was a map maker in the kingdom of Dahomey or whatnot in Benin. So on the map, he's showing y'all just real quick. So you have all this land here from Nigeria, you have Benin, and you have Togo. You have the Ewe people, EWE. And then you have Ghana, which is the West Coast. The Gold Coast. All of those lands, he's correct. A lot of the Hebrews were there. Even Ghana is a Hebrew word. You know what I'm saying? So there were, I believe, 122 kings that reigned in Ghana even before the founding of Islam. You even learn that, I think, is in Babylon and Timbuktu as well. But yeah, so you got a lot of the Israelites that are actually there of Levi, Judah, and Benjamin. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Right here? No.
Oh, here? Okay, yeah, I got you.
Guys. Thank you.
Same area. All right. So Ghana, Cote of Ivory, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Benin, but they took primarily Kingdom of Judah, which would be on the map, Nigeria area, over to primarily the Jamaica. I think I should see it. Jamaica, Igbos are taken to Jamaica. Where's it at? Jamaica. It was Jamaica, Haiti, and Barbados in Virginia. That's where they brought Igbos mostly. That's true. Southern Kingdom. Then they bring primarily Yorubas over to Mexico.
Now get this. He cut himself because get this. Notice he just said that a lot of them were the Igbo people, and he said they came over here to America, which is true. Majority of the ships came over here in 1812 of the Igbo people. But guess what? The Igbo people are claiming to be from the tribe of Gad. Now that goes against what they're teaching in the chart. You see what I'm saying? So the Igbo people are mostly Gad. The Eri family, E-R-E, are the oldest family that are in Southeast Nigeria. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's Gad.
Mm-hmm. And I know that to be true because I spoke to a sister, no lie, about a week ago in Africa. And she knows what tribe she's from. And she said she's from the tribe of Gad. No lie. So, and I didn't even talk to him about that.
Yeah. And remember, this is my first time hearing this video.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cuba, Puerto Rico. which is further down, that was remnants of both. It's okay, the Bantus, take them, they belong to them, they belong to them. Go to, what I want. Go to Wikipedia, go to, Oda, O-U-I-D-A-H. See what Wida is? Wida is a bird.
Now get this. That word O-U-I-D-A-H, that's a French word, which means Judah. So they had a port there that was known as Port of Judah that was there. So he telling the truth with that. You know what I'm saying? That's actually a fact, what he's talking about. O-U-I-D-A-H. If you look that word up, it'll tell you of the kingdom of Judah. You know, so Ouida. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually a fact. You know, when you actually get to looking into that, and he mentioned the Bantus, a lot of the Bantus were fleeing from Kenya all the way down into the southern interiors of Central and South Africa. So they fled into the Congos, the Mabubu Jews. You know what I'm saying? And then you have another sect of Jews that were there. I mean, you were just talking about
Angola.
That. Yeah, Angola. All the way in Gabon, because he talked about Gabon earlier.
My girl from Bantu.
Yes, so a lot of them are Bantus. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them speak language like Xhosa. Like the language that they spoke in the movie Black Panther. You know, it was the language that they had spoke. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just, hey, this is my first time hearing it too, though. But go ahead.
All right. So now, pay attention to all the information he's saying. All right. So now we about to bring this around full circle. To even tell you, listen closely now.
So it says slave coast. So it says kingdom of Judah. That means that Judah, Benjamin, and Levi were there.
Like I just said.
If it's the kingdom of Judah, it's three of us. It's Judah, Benjamin, and Levi there. Let's go to. You go to the map now. Go to the map. Give you an idea. The present map. Negro land. You have Nigeria there, and you have Gabon right under. You have Nigeria, Ghana right there. Then you have Benin. That's what I wanted to do a map. Where's Benin at? You go closer. Yeah, it's coming up. Lagos. Right there. See that? We share land. Benin's there. Sons of E from Ghana right there. Nigeria, that's all Judah E from right there. Then we had land all the way to the Sudan, all the way further down, to the Congo. We had that whole area there. And Dahomey was somewhere within the west as well.
So notice he's saying all this stuff, but even when you look at the chart, now they got it on there. We never had Africa on there. Period.
I just said this.
Go ahead.
Well, you just heard, I just said this.
Yeah.
Now get this. And those were the Bantus that I was talking about. Now get this. He just got done saying that Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, he said that's all of us. Now get this. When you do your research, you even learn that 464 slaves landed at what they call the mouth of the Mississippi River. But get this. You even learned that India and Portugal, they had slave ports that came from the kingdom of Judah that they set up there. And they scattered us. So that's why you got in India some place known as Little Africa. Look this up. There's some Israelites that are there who got Hebrew names. They follow Hebrew customs and they don't know how they got there. You see what I'm saying? So he's basically explaining the other part. I may end up doing a documentary on this again because I had dibbled and dabbled into this. I mean around 2014 when I was 2013, shortly after I came into the truth or whatnot. But I got a lot of information. I might do another documentary on this, talking about the migration patterns of the Israelites. But he got done explaining in the video, what's his name? Aitan. He just got done explaining basically what I was just saying. So the brother is correct. So the crazy part about it, all you now got to do is find out where did those slaves go to and where did those slave ports go to. It didn't just go to America. Some went to India. You see what I'm saying? So, and some went to other places as well. So which means that Judah is, if we are to go by the 12 tribe chart, Judah can't just be in America. And it sounds a lot like Isaiah 11 when he talked about Isaiah 11:11 and verse 12, how he would gather Judah in all four corners.
Right.
But what do I know?
Right.
So yeah.
You don't know a damn thing, nigga. You ain't with IUIC.
At all.
What's wrong with you, nigga?
Right.
What's wrong with you?
They bring us. They were our enemies, rivals. That's the Philistines, kind of. Like that scenario. Same area. All right? So Ghana, Cote of Ivory, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Benin. But they took primarily Kingdom of Judah, which would be, what other map? Nigeria area, over to primarily the Jamaica. I think I should see it. Jamaica. Igbos are taken to Jamaica. where's it at? Jamaica. It was Jamaica, Haiti, and Barbados in Virginia. That's where they brought Igbos mostly. That's Southern Kingdom. Then they bring primarily Yorubas over to Mexico, Brazil.
You hear that? He said that he brought the Yorubas over to Mexico, Brazil. Yorubas are Africans. They black folk.
Yep. And not to mention the Ashanti tribe.
Yep.
The Ashanti tribe are also, many of them also came from Jamaica, and a lot of them went from Jamaica to Ireland. You know what I'm saying? So that when you learn about the Black Irish, you'll learn that a lot of them came from Ireland. You know what I'm saying? So you can definitely look that up as well. So a lot of us were scattered. The Ashanti is a Hebrew word, the people of Ashan. When you look at Joshua chapter 15, verse 42, let me grab that right quick. And again, this is my first time hearing this video. Am I lying, bro? Joshua chapter 15, verse 42, it says when it goes into the name and the lineages. So Joshua 15 and 42, it says, and Libnah and Ither and Ashan. So here it is when you learn that the Ashan or Ashanti, because they got different names. You got the Ashanti, which is the people of Ashan. The T is a suffix. It means the people of. And then you have the word Ashan. You have the, also known as the Akan. The Akan, Twi-speaking Israelites of Ghana. If you're watching this, yes, you are an Israelite as well. You know what I'm saying? But I talk a little bit about this in that documentary that I did. It's called True Identity of the So-Called Negro, Part 4. You know, and I might have to do a Part 5. Just hearing that might just inspire me to do a 5.
Yeah, I'll send it to you, Ken Folk. I got you, Rashad. Now notice now he's talking about now all these tribes being dispersed. What happened to the 10 tribes already being brought over here that you read about in 2nd Esdras? What would be the need to even explain this and go into this? Because this is well after, obviously, number one. And then number two, as we further go on in the video, you gonna see if that be the case, how the hell you get all African tribes or all dark-skinned people in this instance, but then when they finally come over and they meet each other from the ones that left in Esdras, that they would say, how the hell they all get light-skinned? So now you got dark-skinned Africans who are Ephraim now meeting light-skinned Spaniards who are both Ephraim, and they supposed to come from the same mother and the same father, and they look nothing alike. How the hell does that happen? Number one. Number two, if that's the case, we was in slavery for 400 years. Shit, we still look the same. Now after 400 years, my whole lineage didn't come up with the long, you know, difference of hair and the lighter skin in terms of me looking like a totally different nation. Where did all this come from? If he's describing what we look like, what we came from, what we knew we were, so on and so forth. Y'all got to start making sense of this stuff. Y'all got to start thinking and using logic instead of just letting somebody tell you something and then based off of fear, you want to believe it because you think in your mind, if you're not Israel, you're not going to make it. That's bullshit.
And look, real quick. Also, you got the Gadamis, which also is in Ghana as well. A lot of them migrated from Nigeria too. Just look this up. These are also people who are over there that are claiming to be Israelites as well. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them came from Ghana. Definitely look this up. You know what I'm saying? And, so yeah. Go ahead.
No, you good. And to my brother's point, even the ones who are in India, even the ones that are in Saudi, even the ones that are spread out in different four corners of the globe, they still look the same. Why is it that these camps are the only ones that are teaching that the Spaniards will be included when everybody else still looks the same no matter where you go?
Yep, and
that shit don't change.
And once again, they migrated around the 13th century. You know what I'm saying? Definitely look this up from 790 to 1076. You'll definitely see that a lot of them came from Nigeria. You know, they were around Togo and Benin. So a lot of our people were migrating and scattered. As the Bible says, that will happen. And the Lord shall scatter you among who? All people. From one end of the earth even unto the other. You get what I'm saying? So that's something to look into. You know, the Gadagamis. These are Israelites that are currently are in Ghana who are claiming to be Hebrews, not just the Ashanti tribe. You got the Fulanis. You know, so I could go on and on. There's a lot of people, even in Cameroon. The capital of Cameroon is Yaoundé. Yaoundé is another word for Jew. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, let me finish this.
Yeah.
It says, I believe the dark-skinned Tainos, man, you ain't going to find that in the Bible. It has to match up with the scripture. So if you can find that in here, then we can go by that logic. But if you read 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, you don't read nothing about no ships. You don't read nothing about the Assyrians giving us any kind of tools to build a ship. You don't hear none of that stuff in there. So you'd have to show me that the 10 tribes came over here before you can even make that statement. And you got to prove it through here first. And you're not going to read anything about ships in here. Period. Point blank. Period.
And there's nothing really conclusive that say Azareth is even America. Too.
Oh, I can prove that that's wrong.
Yeah.
I got,
you know what I'm saying?
I can prove
Azareth,
that.
it would be more properly Northeast Africa.
I'm going to show you. I can prove that in the Bible, and I can prove it. They use the Jewish, what is that?
Britannica, right?
Yeah,
that's where they got it from.
But hold on. Even in the Jewish Britannica, it gives you the book that they got it out of. If you go to the book that they got it out of, which is at Christopher Columbus, he never says anything about America, and he never says anything about what they use to say that Arthur's is America.
It's not in the book.
I got it. It's not in there.
Yeah, it's not in there.
You won't find it in there. It's a damn lie.
Yeah.
It's not in there.
Yeah.
Period.
That land is in Africa.
That land they're
talking about is in Africa.
Exactly. It ain't over here. You won't find it in any Britannica, and you won't find it in the book that the Britannica references. It's not in there.
Cuba, Puerto Rico. They knew where they were taking the right people. They knew. And then you have Bantus, which is further down. That was remnants of both. It's okay, your Bantus. Take them, they belong to them. They belong to them. Trump. Jasper Younger comes from the Gaban people. He's Issachar. He's a Mexican hero, slave hero of Mexico.
Jasper Younger, right? He's a black slave. He's a hero. He's from the tribe of Issachar. Hold on. Tell me what that look like, y'all. He's the Issachar, tribe of Issachar. What that look like? I'm going to let y'all look at it, and you can tell me for yourself if that looks like who they describe as today's Issachar that's on the chart. The ones that we reference a lot. I'm telling y'all, y'all better wake the heck up and stop believing everything that y'all hear. But let's continue. That's what he looks like. When y'all get a chance, I know it's backwards. I ain't gonna mess with it. But when you get an opportunity, go in there and read the history about Jasper. And you'll see that he looked just like you and I. Right.
Of Gaban or Pongo. That's where Jasper Younger comes from. Jasper Younger comes from the Gaban people. He's Issachar. He's a Mexican hero, slave hero of Mexico. The kingdom of Gaban or Pongo. That's where Jasper Younger comes from. Jasper Younger comes from the Gaban people. He's Issachar. Okay, Benin is sons of Ephraim. Sons of Benin is Ben Ephraim. That's that is. It's corruption. Like Evo is Hebrew. It's the same thing. A corrupt form of the words. Okay, Benin is sons of Ephraim. Sons of Benin is Ben Ephraim. That's that is. It's corruption. Okay, Benin is sons of Ephraim. Sons of Benin is Ben Ephraim. That's that is. This is contrary to common, this is saying. Contrary to common. You see it? It's going to start with that. Right there, right there. Go down, go down, go down, go down. Contrary to common. The whole paragraph. Go down. Yep. Right there to others. Start right there. Start a comment.
Yeah, anybody that want this video, yes, I will send it to you. And I'm looking at some of the comments about Negroes are here in America, the Olmecs dwell. Cool, whatever your beliefs, so on and so forth, cool. That's not the topic of this. So I'm not trying to get on here to understand y'all knowledge and see how much you know. This is facts about who is who according to the Bible. All that other stuff, y'all can hold on to that, and we can discuss that at another time.
And we know about the omics.
Right, we know about all that stuff. This
There's
ain't.
a
I'm
book-
not.
In fact, there's a book called "They Came Before Columbus" by Ivan Van Sertima.
Right.
And it has a picture of the omic on the front of it. We know about the omic.
Right. This ain't no.
Africa's gift to America.
Right, you guys. This ain't no pissing contest right now. I'm trying to show y'all something in terms of who is who according to the Bible, what we've been taught, and the people that's been teaching us these things. Do they really believe in what they saying? The answer to that is no. They don't believe it. But they telling you that, and you believe that, and you buying into it when it's not facts at all.
Trust me, we know history. Man. I got pretty much every book under the sun. You show me I either had it or got it.
Others. Contrary to common belief, contrary to what we've all been told in school, watch this.
So did Israel dwell in America? Because if you go to South America, you can see dark people everywhere. This is dark people.
Let's go to India. Some dark people there too.
European slave traders were fairly well informed about various African ethnicities. Stop. That meant they kept records. That means they knew exactly who they were coming to get when they arrived in Africa, and the Hamites were happy to give it to us, to give us to them. Read again. Contrary to common belief, European slave traders were fairly well informed about various African ethnicities. Go ahead, watch this. Leading to slavers targeting certain ethnic groups. Stop. Leading slavers to target certain ethnic groups. Certain people in Africa. They were targeting. I don't want that one. I want that group. Because that group is the group I have enslaved on this side of the world. I want that group over there. That's Manasseh over there. I want them. That's Ephraim.
Now, what he's saying is true, because one of the things that they would do is they would come over and they would study us. And it was easy to find us because we kept the Sabbath day. We had a specific custom, a specific dress code, specific foods. We were separate people. So everywhere we went, we were ruling, and we were smart people. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't have been hard to find us. So you had people who were sent as inquisitors. They were sent as spies to watch us. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no mistake about it. Although we had skin color like they did, they knew exactly who they were coming for, and it wasn't hard to, because all they did was study our patterns. They knew who we were. People around us didn't like us. You get what I'm saying? So what he's saying is actually true. You know what I'm saying? And that's definitely something to think about. You know what I'm saying? That's something I want to say on that.
Want them. There's seven over there. I want them. They knew who they were getting. Continue. Which plantation owners preferred, or planters, go ahead. Particular desired ethnic groups. Consequently, became fairly concentrated in certain parts of the Americas. Go ahead. The Igbo were dispersed to colonies such as Jamaica, Benjamin, Cuba, Manasseh, which is Yoruba, primarily Yorubas are taken there. Saint Dominique, Saint Domingue, go ahead. Barbados, the United States, Belize, Honduras, and Trinidad and Tobago, among others. Get some more. Let's get Igbo people in Atlantic slave trade. Go to Wikipedia.
So hold on. So before you say something, notice he said Yoruba. The people of Yoruba are Manasseh, and they sent the people of Yoruba to Cuba.
Yeah.
If that's the case, those people of Yoruba looks like you and I.
And
They look like me and you.
he also says Saint Dominique. Where is Saint Dominique? That's Haiti today. So that would mean that those tribes are in Haiti today. That's not Levi only. You see what I'm saying? So there you go, right there.
That's a fact. He said believe
Igbo people in Atlantic slave trade. Certain people in Africa, they were targeting. I don't want that one. I want that group, because that group is the group I have enslaved on this side of the world. I want that group over there. That's Manasseh over there. I want them. That's Ephraim over there. I want them. There's Zebulun over there. I want them.
And keep that in mind, they weren't coming to get slaves. They were coming to get architects, doctors. So we were a great separate people.
Certain people in Africa, they were targeting. I don't want that one. I want that group, because that group is the group I have enslaved on this side of the world. I want that group over there. That's Manasseh over there. I want them. That's Ephraim over there. I want them. There's Zebulun over there. I want them. certain people in Africa. They were targeting. I don't want that one. I want that group, because that group is the group I have enslaved on this side of the world. I want that group over there. That's Manasseh over there. I want them. That's Ephraim over there. I want them. There's Zebulun over there. I want them. And the Igbo were dispersed to colonies such as Jamaica, Benjamin, Cuba, Manasseh, which is Yoruba, primarily Yorubas are taken there. Saint Dominique, Saint Domingue, Barbados, Benjamin's taken there. The United States, Belize, Honduras, and Trinidad and Tobago, among others.
Interesting. And when does this video come out?
Hold on. So this says, he said primarily the Yorubas was taken to Cuba as Manasseh. So again, he said primarily the Yorubas was taken to Cuba as Manasseh. African tribes. Here you go.
Dispersed to colonies such as Jamaica, Benjamin, Cuba, Manasseh, which is Yoruba, primarily Yorubas are taken there. Dispersed to colonies such as Jamaica, Benjamin, Cuba, Manasseh, which is Yoruba, primarily Yorubas are taken there. Dispersed to colonies such as Jamaica, Benjamin, Cuba, Manasseh, which is Yoruba, primarily Yorubas are taken there.
So who are these people then? If Yoruba and the Africans look like us, then who the hell is that?
Dispersed to colonies such as
Who is that? Who is that, ladies and gentlemen? Because the last time I checked, we all still look the same. And you can read that in the scriptures. This ain't this is the thing about you brothers who get on here and panic and be like, well, what about this? If you bring it out, you're going to scare everybody. What the hell are you talking about? Either you love the Lord or you don't.
Well, let's scare
That
them.
ain't got nothing to do with anything because somebody else telling a lie. I can't tell the truth. Because somebody else is telling something that don't make any sense. I can't say, no, this is what it really is. In fear of you thinking that somebody else's feelings is going to be hurt. Because they want to believe a lie. I don't operate like that. If you a yellow belly like that, then you're going to have to get off my page because we speak truth over here. And that's all I know. Anything but the truth. So again, if the 10 tribes already came on this side, why are we talking about this? And how did this happen? How? You got to explain that to me if they already came over here. This is two totally different things that we've been taught. And it's totally different than what actuality is.
Cuba, Manasseh, which is Yoruba, primarily Yorubas are taken there.
Where wealth equality is a principle, equality among the races is far from being a reality. Race discrimination is a regular part of life for many on the communist island, where mixed-race marriage is still taboo.
My wife is blonde. Her mother wasn't big on our relationship, but in the end she accepted it because she doesn't really have problems with black people. I think it was the first impression, because all the family is white, but everything is okay now.
Blacks and mixed-race Cubans form roughly 35% of the population, but 50 years into the Cuban Revolution, and despite rights explicitly given in the Constitution, Afro-Cubans remain the victims of prejudice. Daniel and Carmen can illustrate that by simply walking down the street.
Because we're a mixed-race couple, he has to show his ID, and the police ask us how long we've been together, if we know each other, if we're married. We keep walking, and at the next corner, there's another policeman who stops us again.
I have friends that are racist. They are really racist. They tell me, because I know you, I don't put you in a box with the rest of the black people. But when I leave the place, I don't know what they really think about me.
Racism is also present in the workplace.
There is a hotel in Varadero. I don't want to name it and cause trouble. But I couldn't get a job there because I'm a black man.
Cuba recently held a televised debate on racism.
So what it's saying is the real Manasseh, the real Yorubas who were having all those issues look just like us, and now guess what? They still suffering and dealing with racism over there.
Ain't that Deuteronomy 28?
That's Deuteronomy 28.
Right quick.
And guess who knows the difference? The Spaniards know the difference. We not the same people. You got the Spaniards right there telling you, yeah, we got problems even in the mixed marriages. Because my husband who's black, or my fiance who's black, they always targeting him. How come they know the difference, but we be trying to convince people over here that we all the same? We not the same. They know it over there. Everywhere we go, they know it. But yet we trying to teach people this bullshit for gain, for money, for people, for status. Enough of that bullshit. Right is right. And the scriptures don't say that. You won't find that nowhere in the scriptures that say the 10 tribes came over here. You won't read it anywhere.
Of its kind, a glimmer of change in a country where Afro-Cubans are counted among the poorest.
Children here play with a stick instead of a bat. In the communities built for sugarcane cutters and their families, called patés, baseball is more than a sport. It's a ticket out of impoverishment for a very lucky few. 17-year-old Angel Luis Joffé was almost one of them. A year ago, a talent scout from an American Major League team offered him a $350,000 contract. A dream come true for this son of a Haitian cane cutter. Until he went to obtain a copy of his birth certificate for a passport.
The registry office told me I was the son of a foreigner, of a Haitian, and that they couldn't give me any document, even though my parents came here 30 years ago and I was born and raised here in the Dominican Republic. I had to break the contract. Now I've been offered a new one with another Major League team, but they still refuse to recognize my birthright.
Since new laws aimed at curbing illegal migration were introduced 2 years ago, thousands of first-generation Dominicans are unable to work, study, or travel because authorities in charge of issuing documents no longer recognize them as citizens, even though the Constitution...
So even they still having those issues. It just said that the government doesn't even recognize the blacks as being citizens over there. Who else has these same issues? If we're all the same people, then nobody should be having any issues over there in terms of that. Because guess what? We are Israelite. So I thought. And also, real quick, what is his name that used to be over Cuba? Fidel Castro. He's a Spaniard. He's a Spaniard. If you do your research, he was born, his father's from Spain. His father came over from Spain to Cuba, met his mother, had him, but he's a Spaniard. Just do your research on that.
They despise us because we're black, but we aren't Haitians, we're Dominicans. Our children want to prosper, but they won't give us the papers.
Discrimination against Haitian guest workers and their children goes back to the days of former dictator Rafael Trujillo. In 1937, almost 40,000 Haitians were massacred in a campaign to whiten the Dominican Republic's mixed blood population.
But if the 10 tribes came over here and you had, what's his name, Trujillo, he would be one of us. So why in the hell would he be slaughtering his own fellow Israelite brothers and sisters if we the same people? But I'll continue.
Still, Haitians cross the border daily into the Dominican Republic to find work. The biggest irony is that almost everyone in this country has an ancestor that came here from Africa as a slave to cut sugarcane, like this. But it's an ancestry that many would just as soon forget.
Anyone who is very black is discriminated against in this society.
Hang on, y'all. Let me put this charger on.
To go to show you how in Deuteronomy 28, how it said we will be only oppressed and spoiled evermore.
Mm-hmm.
No man shall save.
Oh, shit. Hold on, y'all. Let me set this up. Alright. Let's get back to it now.
It admires lighter skin and straight, soft hair. Do you know what they call me?
Rubia.
A blonde.
It's not a black and white matter. In the Dominican Republic, it's all about shade. The lighter, the sweeter the sound. The darker, the tougher the prospects, no matter how hard you go to bat, especially if, like Angel Luis, your parents come from Haiti. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic.
Haiti and the Dominican Republic are close, but only in the geographical sense. The two countries may exist on the Caribbean island of Hispaniola, but historically they have rarely seen eye to eye. Tensions due to controversial law changes and the recent hanging of a Haitian man in the Dominican Republic have experts worried that the island is on the brink of a humanitarian crisis. So why do Haiti and the Dominican Republic hate each other? Well, to understand the conflict, we have to go back to 1697, when France and Spain divided Hispaniola in two after battling for control. Haiti gained independence from France in 1804 and subsequently took over the Spanish Dominican side in an effort to free the entire island of slavery. Haiti occupied the Dominican side for 22 years. During that time, the Spanish-speaking Dominicans were restricted to speaking French. This anti-Haitian sentiment has endured since 1937, when dictator Rafael Trujillo led the Dominican Republic. Rafael was obsessed with pale skin, and under his rule, around 10 to 25,000 dark-skinned Haitians living in Dominican border towns were murdered.
Rafael Trujillo. In 1937, almost 40,000 Haitians were massacred in a campaign to whiten the Dominican Republic's mixed-blood population. Rafael Trujillo. In 1937, almost 40,000 Haitians were massacred in a campaign to whiten the Dominican Republic's mixed-blood population.
Play out then in Mexico. Like there's stories of people of African descent when they leave their communities, or actually being a little squeamish about leaving their communities. How is race felt and lived in Mexico then? That's very true. Like I said, these populations are concentrated in certain areas of southern Mexico, primarily. Unlike in the United States, where there was, the great migration that brought large numbers of African Americans to the cities of the north, with very large influential populations that developed there. Such a migration never occurred in Mexico. Mexico City has actually very few people of African descent. So when you see them on the street and say, "Hey, how are you?" and you discover.
I hope y'all can hear this. He's saying, in Mexico, the African slaves are afraid or timid to leave their community. He's saying in Mexico, they didn't have a migration like we did in America, where you had people from the South coming from Mississippi and Alabama, and they moved to places like Chicago and all the way up to New York. There was no migration like that in Mexico. He said, to the point, even in Mexico City, if they even see somebody that resembles an African and that person tries to say that they Mexican, they don't believe that shit. They don't even believe it. Matter of fact, they're not even considered citizens in Mexico. And I know this to be true. If you look up this movie, it's called Blacks in Mexico. For those of you who want to know what it is, hit me up and I'll look for it and then I'll try to send it to you. But I think it's called Blacks, what is it? Something like Blacks in Mexico. Something like that. Hold on, we're going to keep going.
Migrants or immigrants from Africa, diplomats, corporate expats, not really from the Mexican community. So the way race is lived, yes, those people who live in those communities, when they do venture out, their fellow Mexicans are often shocked, surprised, and in some cases appalled that there are Mexicans of African descent. They're questioned about where they're from. You must be from Cuba. You must be from the Caribbean. You must be from somewhere else. You can't be Mexican. We're mestizo. We're Indian and European.
Hold on. So you telling me the locals are saying, no, you can't be Mexican. You have to be Indian or European. The ones that are considered Mexicans are Indian and European. It's not my words. These are the people that actually live there and know what they talking about. Not me trying to force my beliefs or my doctrine so I can get something out of it.
That sort of docile
Let's see what happened. Hang on, y'all. I don't know what the heck just happened. We're going to figure it out. But anybody that wants this video, let me know and I'll send it to y'all.
So you pretty much got the point across with it.
Yeah, that's pretty much got the point across with it. Yep, that's pretty much it on that video. Let me turn it off. Anybody that want it, let me know and I'll send it to you. But I'm gonna read. You mind reading for me real quick?
Yep.
I'm gonna read something to you.
Bible.
People, yeah, brothers, you keep asking me about what if, Aztecs, what if this, what you got to get past, you have to get past this, 2 Ezra 13 and 40. You got to get past this before we can go anywhere else. You got to get past this, 2 Ezra.
Okay, yeah, okay.
People always want to start, you want to put the cart before the horse and you want to say, well, what about the Aztecs and what about the natives? Because in your mind, you still thinking that the 10 tribes came over here. Answer me this. And if you can't answer me this, then you need to do your research to this. And then we can talk about the rest of the stuff. But until then, you better be there to answer this. Read that.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40, it says, Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king, whom Shalmaneser, king of the Assyria, led away captive.
And you can read that in Kings. What is it? 1 Kings 17? 1 Kings 17 tells you how we were led away captive by Shalmaneser. You can read that in the scriptures, in the Bible. Go ahead.
Shalmaneser.
Yeah, Shalmaneser. And I say Ella because it's in there, but Shalmaneser, yeah.
And this is around, that was around the 6th or 7th century BC. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm gonna leave it.
And this is Shalmaneser the third.
Yep. Go ahead.
But anyway, it says, and led away captive and carried them over the waters. So came they into another land. 41. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen or nations and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Hold that. Give me, I think it's Jeremiah chapter 2, and I'll get the scripture in a second. But when it's talking about carried over the water, when you look on a map, the waters that it's talking about is not talking about no ocean or no sea or no nothing like that. The two waters is talking about two rivers. If you look at it, the hell is those two damn rivers? Anyway, I get the name. Yeah, yes, thank you. The Tigris and the Euphrates River is the two that we crossed over when they took us in slavery. Think about it. If Shalmaneser went over there and grabbed us and he took us, how come in 1 Kings I don't read nothing about him taking some ships, went over there to where we were in Samaria, and then grabbed us on some ships in Samaria and then took us over those waters in these ships?
Why don't we see that in history? You can look
you
up.
don't, yeah, you don't see that in history either. It says nothing about ships.
Under Shalmaneser, because you can type it on Google, type in black obelisk, and you can see that the same King Shalmaneser or whatnot, it's a story with that dealing with Jehu and everything. Just check it out. We don't see that in the Syrian antiquity.
Right, because you would think if we left again on ships, like y'all say, then the first time we came over there should have been Shalmaneser should have came and got us on ships. But you don't read that.
No.
But go ahead.
What do you want me to add, Joel?
Yeah, we're going to keep reading. Oh, Joel 2.
At least said Jeremiah 2.
Oh, yeah, Jeremiah. I'm sorry. Jeremiah 2 and 6. Watch this. So it said, neither a country where mankind dwelt. Let's see if that's happened before in history and if those words have ever been used before.
All right. This is Sefer Yemayahu, or the book of Jeremiah. It says, chapter 2, verse 6, it says, Neither said they, Where is the Lord that brought us up out of the land of Misraim, or Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through, and where no man dwelt.
Damn. So you mean to tell me you can read that in the Bible? That we've dwelt places where no man dwelt before? Jeremiah even talked about we've been through places where no man dwelt. I'm from the country in Oklahoma. And growing up, I can drive and all of a sudden get to a place and it's just desolate. Where ain't nobody live, but it's a bunch of trees, woods, land, so on and so forth, where no man dwell. That shit ain't new. In 2020, you can go places where no man's dwell. It's a big ass fucking country, a big planet. So that don't make any sense when people say that. Open your Bible and read and see what that means. It's not what it's talking about. Go ahead. Go back.
Verse 7.
No, we good.
Second Ezra?
Yeah, go back
13?
to Second Ezra.
13 and pick where we left off?
Yeah.
All right, it says, verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land.
Mm-hmm. So now, real quick, it said that they might keep their statues in their own land. I'm going to say something to the brother who keep bringing up the Aztecs and the Incas and all that. You can watch a movie that talks about the customs. Because remember, it just said that we was going to go and keep our own customs. I don't recall rolling heads down a fucking pyramid being an Israelite custom.
What is he saying about that?
I don't recall chopping out people's hearts and doing all that as an Israelite custom. But I can go back in Ghana. I can call people in Nigeria. I can call people in all these other, in Africa, and guess what they still doing? Hey, Mosh, we still keeping our customs over here. Hey, Mosh, we still doing X, Y, and Z over here.
Ask him, what is he asking about Shalmaneser? What is he asking? What is he saying?
No, it wasn't about Shalmaneser. He was asking about the
Olmecs.
He was just asking, like, are they like the Israelites or something like that?
Do he believe that they are?
I don't know. I'm telling him before he even get to that, he needs to get to answer this.
And if he believes that they are, we need to go into their antiquities and show where Shalmaneser brought them there. Problem solved.
Thank you.
That's not even hard. So just go into their antiquities, into their records, eyewitnesses accounts, and let's see Shalmaneser bringing them over there. If you can do that, then hey, that would be something that would be substantiating. You can use the Bible as a source, and then go into history and get eyewitness accounts, any archaeological evidence.
You bring me another one?
And we don't deny the fact that they're there. Is the whole fact, are they them? Then that's another question. We need to see Shalmaneser the third in the early 7th century BC, 722 BC, around that time period. We need to see that because that's when Shalmaneser the third was ruling. It was around 722 BC, I want to say.
That and that's real quick. That because that's the part again that people keep missing. They said they wanted to leave so we can keep the commandments. When you hear about the Incas and the Mayans and all that, you don't read about that. Now we be trying to force feed people that, but that's not what you read. And like I said, when they talk about the stuff that they was doing, that's some shit that you read that the Canaanites was doing. As a matter of fact, you can go to Psalms, I think it's 103. I'm paraphrasing when they talk about mingle themselves among the heathen and learn their works and put them through the fire, so on and so forth. That was a Canaanite custom that the Incas and the Mayans and so on and even the Native Americans was still doing. So you do the math. I do my research. Go ahead. Read on.
Yeah. All right. Verse 44 it says. No. Verse 43 it says, and they enter into the Euphrates by the narrow passes of the river.
Hold on. So now it says you entered into the Euphrates by the narrow. Let me show y'all what narrow means. Because you sure in the hell can't go through a narrow passage if you trying to take a big ass ship. I was in the Navy. And I was on a cruise ship. I said cruise ship. I was on a carrier. The carrier carries between 5,000 and 6,000 people on it. The carrier does. That carrier is so big. Do you know how much space that we had to have to bring that mug in to the waters and to take it out to the waters? So I'm going to show you what a narrow passage is. I have some on my phone, but I'm actually on it right now. So I'm going to have to pull some up. So hold on, y'all. Narrow passage. Man, come on, Israel. Y'all like gotta research, man. All you gotta do is put narrow passage river and then hit it. Let me get an example of a narrow passage of a river. Just so y'all don't think that I'll be making this stuff up. And then I'm going to explain to you why the Most High gave it as a narrow passage of a river. Let me go back. Hold on. Narrow. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me.
You gotta be smart. I just got you. She already hit there. You can't get her.
Bear with me, y'all. I'm almost there. Trying to find a good one. Here, I'll just give you this one. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to see it on this one good. Hey, do me a favor. Find me on your phone or on your computer a narrow passage picture.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna keep reading or whatever, because they're not gonna be able to see it on my computer. Anyway, while he's getting that, I'm gonna show you what a narrow passage is. In all the narrow passages, it's the smallest part of the water. And the reason why the Most High took us to the narrow passage of the river is because it's 10 tribes. 10 tribes, and you got just click on one of the pictures, make it big, like a narrow river passage. Yeah, narrow river.
Yeah.
You got 10 tribes, so you got men, women, children, babies, old women, old men, all your belongings, your animals, your food, all your resources. So why wouldn't the Most High take them to the smallest part of the river so they can walk across? It would only make that much sense. It makes it easier for all of us to go across. You can read that in Judges. You can read that in Joshua. Remember when we came, let me get that real quick.
There's a narrow passage.
Here, let me turn this around. Hold on, let me turn this around. What you got?
And it also comes, the word narrow comes from the Hebrew word tsar, and that means a tight place.
You see that?
That's what narrow passage, that's what narrow means in Hebrew, is the word tsar.
Mm-hmm.
And it means a tight place.
You see how small these are all narrow passages, and I ain't making none of this up. He just Googled it.
Yeah.
Now look how small it is. That's why the Most High took us to a narrow passage of the river. The river. So we can walk across that mug. So it was shallow. It wasn't deep. So people wasn't falling in and drowning and hurting themselves. That's what he did. Again, you can read that. Let me find it real quick. I'm shooting from the hip. Hold on, y'all. I ain't went over this in so long. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I think it's in Joshua. Hold on. They were there. Yep. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read some of this. This is the book of Joshua, chapter 3, and I'm gonna get to the point. Chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, "And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, Come hither and hear the words of the Lord your God. And Joshua said, Hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Hivites, and the Perizzites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth passeth over before you into Jordan." Jordan is the Jordan River. It says, "Now therefore take you 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, out of every tribe a man. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priest shall bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above, and they shall stand upon an heap. And it came to pass, when the people removed from their tent to pass over Jordan, and priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people. And as they that bear the ark were come unto Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped into the brim of the water, for the Jordan overfloweth all his banks all the time of harvest, that the waters which came down from above stood and arose up upon a heap very far from the city Adam that is beside Zaratan. And it says, and the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground, in the midst of Jordan, and all the Israelites passed over on dry ground until all people were passed clean over Jordan. So what you have happen is, again, the Most High took us to a certain part of the river, and we understood seasons as well, but that's a whole totally different topic. And we went to the most narrow part of it, and we walked across it. You can read that all throughout the Bible. Abraham had to do it. We had to do it. When we went into captivity, we had to do it. Coming out of captivity, we was coming across the same rivers. It has nothing to do with no ocean. It's rivers. We walked across it. And he took us to the narrow part so we can pass over. All right, read this for me again, kinfolk.
Yep. What's plus?
Where we at?
Hold on.
So we're going to finish. Go ahead.
Which, where you picked up at?
Yeah, verse, where you at?
All right, so verse 44. For the Most High showed signs for them, and they held still the flood.
Isn't that what we just read? Didn't he do that for the Jordan River? Go ahead.
It says, till they were passed over.
Hold on. So we just read that he did the same thing for the Jordan River until we passed over. Now, granted, let's say this again. If it's ships that we need to get on ships, why are we going to the narrow part? And then why would he hold still the flood? You need water. Remember, I was on a carrier. I need water to get out to the ocean. I need water to transport myself. So I wouldn't go to a narrow part, and I wouldn't go nowhere where the flood is held still, where there's no water coming in and out. That makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever. Go ahead.
Then it says, 45. For though...
oh, hold on. And mind you, we still ain't heard anything about no building material. You mean to tell me the Assyrians did all that shit to us, and then they like, hey, we sorry. Let me give you some wood, some hammers, some nails, and some resources and all that stuff, and build everything, and then go and prosper. You don't read that nowhere. As a matter of fact, Tobit had to escape from Salmanassar. And then even when Salmanassar's 2 sons killed him, he was still leery of what was going on with his people. Matter of fact, we were still being killed by them after that. So you think those people, just like America, we want our 40 acres and a mule. They not going to give us our 40 acres and a mule. And that's like somebody saying that the so-called Grecians gave us our stuff to go back to our country. You ain't going to read that nowhere. You know them ain't going to do that. Read that. You got it?
Yeah, hold on one second. Okay. Verse 45, it says, for through that country there was a great way to go. Namely, look at this, of a year and a half.
But hold on, rewind, say that, but through what?
For through that country.
Through that country. Through that country. So remember, he held still the flood. He took us to the narrow passage of the river. Once we got to the narrow passage, we crossed over, and then he said, through that country was a great way to go, namely a year and a half. I didn't hear shit about no ocean. I didn't hear nothing about no sea. I didn't read nothing about no boats. I didn't hear none of that stuff. And the reason why it took us a year and a half, because I said it earlier, just like when we came out in the Exodus, you got old men, you got old women, you got children, you got pregnant mothers, you got all your food, you got your cattle, you got all your belongings with you. And guess what? You got 10 tribes. So guess what? It's going to take you a year and a half to get to where you need to be. I had a brother who broke this thing down, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was like, yeah, when you break it down, we literally traveled maybe like 4 or 5 hours. And it was like every other day or something like that. And then that's how it equaled out. He literally did the math on it. But go ahead.
Verse 45, for through that country, there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And that same region.
Hold on, he said what?
And that same region.
Damn, so that means the same place. And that same location, that same area is called what?
Azareth.
Because you can't, America ain't the same region. That's clear across the water. So it can't be saying that. It is impossible to be talking about that. Yeah, and to your point, Rashad, thank you. if you had 10 tribes, again, I was on a cruise ship, or I keep saying cruise ship, but I was on a carrier, and it takes 5,000 to 6,000 people to fit on that carrier. Imagine how many ships you got to have to bring 10 tribes over here, and how long that would take for you to do something like that. But I'm gonna show you something in my Bible. It has the word Arshareth. Watch this. Let me show you something.
Yeah.
Look at this. Right there. You see that? It says Arshareth, right? And then it has a number next to it. It says number 1. Right there. Look. Or Ararat. Ararat. That's another name for it. Check this out. Hold that. Go to Tobit. Tobit chapter 1. I got you.
Okay.
I'm going to show y'all something. It says Ararat, right? Tobit chapter 1, and I'm gonna give you a little backdrop. Tobit, our forefather, in the streets, he used to see that our people were killed. So he used to take our people and he used to bury them. Well, he got caught and people complained about him burying our people. So he ended up having to escape because Sennacherib was looking for him. So now we're going to kind of pick up where Sennacherib's sons, what they did to his father, and then we're going to show you where they escaped to. Because remember, another word for Arshareth is Ararat. And I showed y'all in my Bible the word Ararat. Watch this. Tobit chapter 1. Start at verse 19, please, if you don't mind.
Tobit chapter 1 and verse what?
19.
19, it says, and when one of the Ninevites went and complained to me to the king, that I buried them and hid myself, understanding that I was sought for to be put to death, I withdrew myself for fear.
So Tobit was going to be put to death for burying his people. So he left. In fear, he left.
Verse 20, it says, let's go a little bit more.
Yeah, I got you, Ken.
Yeah, it says, then all of my goods were forcibly taken away. Neither was there anything left me beside my wife Anna and my son Tobias. And there passed not 50 days before 2 of his sons killed them.
So now it's going into Sennacherib's sons. They killed him. Go ahead.
And they fled into the mountains of Ararat.
Also known as Arshareth. Hold the hell up. You mean to tell me after they killed their father, they got on a boat and they went to America? Is that what we just read after they killed their pops? They got on a boat and they went to America and they chilled out in America. Think about that. This said that they killed their father and they fled into the mountains of Ararat.
Genesis chapter 8 and verse 4. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat.
Hey, you can't make this shit up, I'm telling you. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. So again, brothers and sisters, you got to get past that. You got to get past that before we even talk about where anybody else comes from, because your whole mind is tied to the 10 tribes coming on this side, and they never came over here. Ever. And here's the thing. IUIC knows that. They already know that. They just fucking with y'all. Hold on a second. I'm going to answer your question. From the Naphtali. He's from the tribe of Naphtali.
Who?
Tobit.
Oh, yeah. Naphtali, Tobit, the 7th chapter.
Was that it on here? So hold on. We're going to finish reading. So let's read verse 46.
Verse 46.
Yes, they Israel. Yes.
They dwelt there until the latter time.
Hold on, start at 45 again. I'm sorry. We back at 2nd Ezra 13:45.
It says, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years, and through the same region that is called Azareth. They dwelt, it said, then dwelt they there until the latter time.
Hold on. So you mean to tell me all the tribes that still say that they keep God's commandments over in Africa and Saudi and all in those regions? You mean to tell me they still there until the latter times? Because we talking about the 10 tribes here. The Bible says, yeah, they still there. They are still there to this day. You know how I know? Because I talk to them all the damn time on the phone. I get up about 4:30 in the morning and I speak to them. And they still serving the Lord over there. Because remember, that was the whole point of them leaving Assyria, was to keep the commandments. Not chop people's head off and roll it down the pyramid.
Mm-hmm. So then it says here, where we at? Oh yeah, it says, then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay in the springs of the stream again.
Hold on. Then it said the highest shall stay the streams again. Just like he did before, he's going to do it again. As a matter of fact, if you read, I think it's the American version in Isaiah 11, if you read through that, they tell you that it's when the state of stream, that stream is talking about is the same one we was just reading about, the Euphrates River. It's all going into the same thing. He going to do the same thing with the Euphrates River, and we going to go right back across that thing.
And what version?
I think it's the American version.
Okay. Then it says, stream again, that they may go through, therefore saws the multitude with peace.
Mm-hmm. So as you read on, it'll explain that. And this, if you read this whole chapter, this is talking about the return of the Messiah anyway.
Yep.
But that's neither here nor there. Do your research, brothers and sisters, and stop listening to this garbage. Everybody know what the real deal is. This ain't about hate, because I believe, according to the Bible, that if you love the Lord and you keep God's commandments, you have an opportunity to make it to the kingdom. But there's a hierarchy. You got Israel, and everybody else will be under Israel, because the kingdom is for us. That's just what it is. But that don't mean that you're not going to have your land. That don't mean that you're not going to have your family. And that don't mean that you're not going to have peace. Every nation has their judgment according to the Lord. Ain't nothing we can do about that. But all you can do is serve the Lord to the best of your ability. And in that time, we'll figure it all out. But I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that you're something that you're not, if that's what you asking me to do, and that's what you expecting me to do. I respect all men. I don't give a damn what nationality you come from. You respect me, I respect you. And that's really comes down to. Did you have anything on it? Because that's pretty much it. That's all I got on this subject. If you don't know now, after watching that video, and after us breaking down 2nd Ezra 13, then I can't help you.
And then another red flag, when you find yourself trying to force yourself to believe something, or force yourself to defend something that's not there, because it's like, if you find yourself having more questions than answers, then that's a red flag. Because I noticed when I'm looking at both sides of the fence, people are mainly asking questions, but nobody's really having answers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Oh shoot. Just so you can do your own research. If you read Tobit, remember Tobit was going through all this too as well. He's giving his report from a Northern Kingdom standpoint. At the end of his life, he tells his sons to flee. How come he didn't tell them to flee to America? He didn't tell them to flee here if he knew that the destruction was coming and he was going through all that. He didn't tell them to go there. So do your research. I think it's chapter Tobit. I know it's the last chapter, so read it in there. It's like the last 2 chapters. You can read it in there. Then right after that, you can go into the book of Judith. The book of Judith explains that you had the whole tribe of Simeon and a government was established during that, right after. And guess who was reigning during that time? Nebuchadnezzar. And they called Nebuchadnezzar the king of Assyria. Why did they call Nebuchadnezzar the king of Syria? I thought he was Babylon. The reason why they call him the king of Assyria is because he was the one that conquered Babylon. And then after he conquered Babylon, it became Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Assyria. And then now you can read Judith, who is Northern Kingdom from the tribe of Simeon. After they were supposed to be on this side, she gives a whole history of her tribe and what they did. And they went to war, and then so on and so forth. And then it tells you that the other tribes was there too, if you read in the book of Judith. We was all there. That's another one. If you go to Chronicles and you read through the book of Chronicles, it gives you the history as well. in the book of Chronicles, it talks about how when we were trying to come back and keep the laws, you had some of the northern kingdom that was fighting against it. However, you did have, I don't want to say the names, but you did have a couple of tribes like Asher and a few other ones. They decided to come back in the land to keep the commandments. But you still have some of them, they was like, we ain't doing that. We ain't rebelling. But it's like, hold on. I thought they was on this side. No, they wasn't on this side. They was still over there, and they was still arguing, and some was still keeping it. It's littered all throughout the Bible, man. Littered all throughout the Bible. So stop listening to these people, man, and open your book, read it for yourself. And if anybody got any questions, man, hit me up, and I'll run through some of this stuff with you, man. I haven't gone over it in so long, but it's fun though. I think I have a class or two on my old Milk in the Morning page. If you go to YouTube and go to Milk in the Morning, I think we did a class that broke down this same subject matter. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we did. I'll search for it. And if we did, if I have it, if somebody want it, I'll shoot it to you. But stop believing these damn lies, man. 10 tribes never came on this side. You won't read that in the Bible. Nowhere. And the Bible says do not add or take away. So if you add ships, you in danger. If you take away something, you in danger. If you say they came to America and you can't show it, you in danger. That's adding to the word. Stop doing that shit.